2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
You're a man.
All right, sweat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. And this is 3 times higher than that one. Can we bring this down a little bit? Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow. Wow.
You're getting all this exciting stuff on film, right?
It's zen, man. It's zen. It's like, well, artist friend of mine once said that when you're on stage, it's alive. And when you get off, everything is a shade of gray. And that's very true. Being on stage is like the most zen-like experience because, and what I mean by that is all your senses are working at once. It's not like I see things and I hear things and I feel things. When I'm on stage, the adrenaline is pumping, all my senses are aware at one time and I see, feel, and hear it all at once. And there's like a ton of energy. Trying to do on stage is learn how to control that energy and not get all, hyped out and things like I used to do. A lot of people when they say, oh, I got butterflies and nervous energy, that's exactly what that is. That's energy. And if you learn to control it and use it, it's very powerful. So it's like when I'm on stage, it's just controlling all that energy and using it in an artistic, hopefully spontaneous way. When things get too contrived, oh, God, you told me I had some contrived smiles. That means they got them on tape. I'm going to look terrible here. Oh, jeez.
How do that woman make you feel? I feel good. Like I knew that we could. Hey, I feel fine. Like when we drink that dandelion wine. So good. So fine. I got you, girl. I feel nice when you put your sugar on my spice. And I feel fine like when we drink that dandelion wine. So good, so fine. I got you, girl.
I was born with cerebral palsy, and the doctors call that a birth defect. I call it a birth defect because I haven't found anything defective with it. It's never really stopped me. It affects me basically from the knees down, and personally, I look at it as a blessing, because without it, I'm sure I would have become a boxer or something else and probably be punch drunk right now. But I never really thought of myself as crippled. In fact, I always thought of myself as different, but in like an extraordinary sense. I never thought, oh, it's too bad. I never had a lot of pity, stuff like that. But when the Cripples came along, I realized all my life I've been called a cripple kid, right? And I was crippled. I was a poster boy for the Crippled Children's Society. I was, all my life people would say, Charm the Cripple Kid. And then when we did the Cripples, I didn't realize how many people it would supposedly upset. Because all my life being called a cripple, it was no big thing. But now it's really ironic that these same people who tell me in the industry, you can't have a band called the Cripple and all this, when they come to see my show or when they meet me, they'll say, where's the Cripple Kid? I want to go see the band with the Cripple Kid. It's ironic, so.
I first knew I got to be really involved with him as producer, manager, when I hear the tape, I'm a cripple. that was really the dynamite, and I feel all of a sudden I feel free and not scared anymore of a kind of a, you know, black spot to be around a cripple, so to be with a cripple. And they said, this guy has something to say. He's really strong, and he kill my inhibition about the cripples. And I was so exciting, and so that's it. That's going to be my challenge. Well, getting booking was a problem, but it was not only getting booking was a problem. It was everything was a problem, because, you know, it's sometimes people feel like it was a kind of exploitations. Sometimes people can feel like it is a gimmick. Sometimes it can be people going to react like it's too much, or it's disgusting, or it's sick. Reaction is, I think it was so many wrong and reaction from the other part. The more I received wrong reaction, more I was convinced that it was something to do.
There's the wrong psychology with me to tell me I can't do something, because as a crippled kid, and you're trained like that. When I was a kid and went to special ed classes and everything, you're trained to, you know, to get over any obstacle, because there's many times when you are just walking down the street by yourself and you fall and there's nobody there to help you. You know, and this is what they taught you in school. And the first thing that I ever learned was how to fall. And the second thing I ever learned was how to get back up. You know, so it was always like a positive thing, you know. And if somebody would tell me that I couldn't do anything, that was like, when I was a kid, that was bad. You know, you can't climb that hill, you can't go sledding. Well, that meant, damn it, yeah, I was going to do it. That's why I think later on in my career as a singer, when people would tell me you can't have a band called the Cripples, you can't do this, that 6-year-old kid would be in my head going, oh yeah, I'll show you, want to bet?
Then you can shout right out. You can say all kinds of nasty things about me. It don't matter. Anyhow. When I see that, when you know, when the honest what you really. That's the one I do that. I'm trying to tell you what.
Handicapped people should have an attitude like Sean, because he's so positive, and like he said, he uses his handicap as his strength, and that's why they're so great. I love them.
Crippled people, I would look at them, and first I would wonder, God, what happened to them? And then I would think, how do they do it? And by watching Sean tonight, he just shows how they do it.
He's able to translate what he has lived through in his lifetime into the lyrics and the power in his music, so that everyone's able to understand, and for a few moments live with him inside himself. And he is absolutely fearless in putting that out. So there's nothing you can do when you watch him perform except applaud and hope that he never stops, ever, never.
Excited.
Come on, you sick man. Hey man, I want like James Dean, man. Got it. What are you doing? Most people, the psychological cripples, the neurotics, they can kind of hide behind their crippleness, you know. But I am lucky. I get up in the morning, I have to look in the mirror. This is what I am. I have to deal with it. And when you're forced to deal with something, it does one of two things. You either get hip to it and you use it to, you know, you utilize it, or you let it destroy you. In my case, I was lucky. I had good parents, good upbringing, and a strong psyche. So I feel real lucky. The people I feel sorriest for are those emotional cripples and things. You know, John Lennon wrote our best line, "One thing you can't hide is when you're crippled inside." And that's why there are so many cripples in the world, because they're so busy trying to hide all that stuff inside. And part of the reason that the cripples work in a show is when people come to see us, they, you know, once I'm comfortable with my crippleness and I start to make light of it and humor, you know, and tell people, you know, stop being afraid, get proud of how you're made, everybody's screwed up. And when you learn how to turn your weakness into a strength, when people begin to perceive that ideal and take their weaknesses and begin to perceive them as a strength, or at least admit that they have a problem, once they're comfortable with it, we as artists have really succeeded. And I call them magic sticks. And they really are. They are great for hitchhiking. They are great whenever you have to defend yourself against Venice villains. They are great for, well, you know, like with hitchhiking. I know that anybody that passes me by, they at least got a little twinge in their conscience. So it's cool, you know. And also it has helped me get some of my more famous rides and things like that. And so I really see them as a, you know, some people have said to me about the cripples and this whole thing, how can you exploit such a thing? Well, I'm not exploiting anything. I'm utilizing what is mine, what was given to me. And here, big guy, move it, buddy. Grab the crutches. Boom! And when you come into this life, nobody said it's going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to be fair. You know, it's basically what you make it. And it's like, you know, the old cliche, you can either look at the glass half full or half empty. Well, I just decided when I came in this thing, hey, if you don't laugh, you cry. So I decided laughing was better. And these are magic sticks, and I'm going to utilize it to my fullest advantage. And if I can help liberate some of the other people's heads, that's great.
Some people will undoubtedly remember me as a cripple. Some will remember me as an artist. I think it's all in the eye of the beholder, you know? I run. People think I do this because I'm a health freak, which is not necessarily true. I do it so that I can endure 45 minutes on stage with a rock band.
And now we like to do a song. Well, it kind of tells you who I am. See, I'm a poster boy.
When they made me a poster boy, it's real easy to take something, the hurt puppy syndrome, you know. You can always take that little hurt puppy and make that real beautiful and take it from people. But I hope that what we can do with the cripples is take something, a concept that was first perceived as something bad or ugly or dreary, and then show them the inherent beauty and strength within that. They didn't want me to do poster boy. And that was kind of offensive to me as an artist, because they weren't just saying, you know, don't sing this silly love song like that. Poster boy and I'm Your Cripple, that's my life story right there. Those two songs, that's Sean, you know. So it was offensive to me to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm a poet and a singer and everything, but I can't sing any songs about my life? Wait a minute, there's something wrong here, guys. I can be a good role model for all those other crippled kids or adults. That's good. That's good for me, and hopefully it'll be good for them, because they do need it. I know I grew up going to special education classes, and aren't a whole lot of real good role models. And I know this need's out there because when these teachers, and I've spoken to almost every crippled kids' school in LA, the reason they want me to come in there is they want these kids to see, here's somebody who's doing it, it's all up to you what you're going to allow to hold you back, So it's real important to me, to help those people, be a good role model, and also, if I could help organize 40 million cripples to march on Washington, D.C., well, what the hell,
I was standing out Pacific, right where Santa Monica Boulevard and Pacific meet. And I was hitchhiking, and a yellow car goes by, and then this blue station wagon pulls up, and it slides down the street a little ways, and I run up to it, and I reach the door, and I reach down, and as I'm opening, I look inside, and there's the profile, the famous Bob Dylan profile. I get in the car, and he says to me, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Rose and Pacific." And he says to me, next question out of his mouth is, "What do you do?" So I go, "Well, I got a rock and roll band." And he goes, "Oh yeah, what's it called?" And I go, "The Cripples." Now you got to dig, this whole time, Dylan has not looked at me, man. He's like driving, man, and he's got his sunglasses on, he's looking straight ahead. So when I said, "The Cripples," and he turns his head and he looks at me and he takes his glasses up off his face and he goes, "The Cripples?" And I go, "Yeah." And in that moment I said, "I'll never change the name." Like, man, look what he did to Dylan. So he says to me, "Sing a song." So I sang "I'm Your Cripple" for him, right in his front seat right there, And he's going, "That's pretty good." He goes, "Sing another one." So I sang "Straight Jacket," and my brain is skirming in my head, right? It's like a fantasy. I can't believe that I'm cruising down Pacific Coast Highway yelling lyrics at Bob Dylan, right? So off we go to my house, me and Bob. So he parks outside, and I said, "Wait here, I'll get the tape," because I didn't want to run up in my house and have my usual gang of idiots all go, "Bob Dylan, have I got a song for you?" So I run up the house, and I get this tape, and I run back down. He's got a little player in the car. We jam it in the car, and he's saying to me, "Who's playing that guitar? Who's playing that sax?" And I'm telling him, this and that. And he says to me, "Can I keep this tape?" And I go, "Bob, please, keep the tape, man. Steal the goddamn tape. I don't care." Of course, I was this high off the ground. I figured, this is the stuff that legends are made of, right here, right now. And I didn't hear anything for about 3 months. And then I started going to parties. People would walk up to me and say, "Hey, I heard your tape. Fantastic." Great, who played it? Dylan. That's when I called my lawyer up and I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Hey, I got a meeting for you with these guys from, such and such management company." I go, Dylan's management company, right? And I'm thinking, Dylan's helping me out. This is great, right? And I made him sign this to the Cripples. The original contract said agreed to, accepted by Sean O'Brien, John Bear, da-da-da-da. I said, no, it's got to be agreed to and accepted by the Cripples, and then our names. And so they did that. And then just about that time, we got into this thing, the Al Pacino movie, Cruising, was coming out, and they were producing it. My management company was producing it, and they were using an all-new wave soundtrack. So they said to me, "We'd like you to do this." And I said, "Fine." And they said, "Well, it's kind of a controversial movie." And I go, "Well, I got a band called the Cripples, man. I'm not too worried about controversy, right?" And I was also figuring, hell, man, this is a major motion picture for a band that's never played live before, that nobody's ever seen. Sure, I'll do it. So anyways, the movie goes in the toilet, and it was just about at that time that the management company came to me and said, "Look, you got to change the name of the Cripples. There's initial negative reaction to the name of the Cripples. We don't want you to do 'I'm Your Cripple,' because you can't say 'come' on the radio." They're really on me to change the name, And they take me up to the 4th floor penthouse, and they got the gold records on the walls, and these guys, they're smart, man. They're a $100 million a year firm, so they got the psychology of business down, And you walk into this room, and you sit down in the modular furniture, man. It makes you kind of sit like this, okay? So you're always looking up, okay? And then in walks the chairman. He comes in, takes a cigar out of his mouth, and he goes, points his finger right in my face, just like this. "I got 30 years in the business, and you got to change the name." Boom. And so I said,
Excuse me, but with all due respect, sir, I've got 25 years of being a cripple, and I really do believe deep in my heart that I can make all these crippled people feel good about themselves, and I can change the connotation of the word, make it a positive instead of a negative, and really make some history as well as good music. I don't want to hear this. No. Boom. That was it. I said, look, I thrive on controversy. We should sell this thing as controversial. And they told me, no, we want John Denver on sticks. We want you to sing sweet love songs, And I'm thinking, John Denver on sticks. Oh, man, you guys are talking to the wrong guy, right? Anyways, and then I went around for weeks making John Denver jokes, only to find out that my liaison's person was John Denver's brother. They didn't like me too much after that, and I guess you could say that was the beginning of the end. At that point, I was pretty down. The band broke up. My girlfriend left me. So it was I was pretty heartbroken. I was ripped off in a burglary. I got burglarized twice living here in Venice. And the second time, they not only grabbed the typewriter, but they grabbed the big black briefcase that was locked with my manuscript in it. My crutches got stolen. 2 minutes, and I came back out to get the dog, and the dog didn't guard my crutches, man. The dog let somebody take my crutches. So the thing was, it wasn't losing the crutches. I know what the bums did. They took it down to the aluminum recycling place and got about 85 cents for the, aluminum. You got to break them in. When you have something that rides next to your body for, 6 months, it gets used to its little groove.
One thing on which he's insistent. Doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you go the distance. Defeat is bitter, but it's also sweet. And just like love, it's up to you which memory you keep. You gotta have the heart of a boxer. Well, I just can't stop her. I've seen greatness being made. She's got what it takes, yeah. Hard like a female boxer. She's my lady champion now. Hard like a lady boxer. She's my good time friend. Little health.
Yeah, for Sean, maybe what is the most stronger point is always up. He's always fighting, and his consistency of keep going is going to be a star just because of that.
Cripple is a magic word right up there with, twin pines, abracadabra, and I love you, And if we present it right, if we, excuse the expression, if we market it right, we could turn on millions of people, which has always been our objective. And in the process, besides enlightening them, entertain them, which is really, honest to God, that's my main thing. I really just think of myself as an entertainer. I just have a unique vehicle,